Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Timeless Sagas, the channel where we dive into the fascinating and often amusing depths of humanity's past. In today's episode, we're going to embark on an exciting journey across the warm, tropical waters of Southeast Asia to explore the rich and vibrant history of Indonesia. So, buckle up, grab your favorite time-traveling snack, and let's get started. Now, our story begins about 1.9 million years ago with our distant ancestors. That's right, folks, it's Homo erectus, who wandered into what is now modern-day Indonesia. They left behind evidence of their presence in the form of stone tools and the famous Java man remains. But let's fast forward a bit to around 2500 BCE, which marks the arrival of the Austronesian people. These skilled sailors and farmers brought their rich culture, languages, and customs to the islands, setting the stage for the diverse and dynamic society that we know today as Indonesia. As we inch closer to the Common Era, we find ourselves in the middle of Indonesia's Bronze and Iron Ages. This period saw the rise of the Dong Sun culture, known for its distinctive bronze drums and intricate artwork. But the real fun begins with the emergence of powerful and prosperous maritime kingdoms trading with the likes of China, India, and even the Roman Empire. Talk about being well-connected. One of the earliest and most influential kingdoms was the mighty Srivijaya Empire, which flourished from the 7th to 13th centuries. This maritime powerhouse dominated trade routes in the region, amassing wealth and influence that extended from the Malayan Peninsula to the island of Java. The Srivijaya Empire was also known for its patronage of Buddhism, which left an indelible mark on the region's cultural landscape, including the stunning Borobudur Temple. Ah, Borobudur, such an impressive monument to human ingenuity, and a must-see on any time traveler's bucket list. But as we know, empires rise and fall, and the Srivijaya Empire eventually succumbed to the rise of the Majapahit kingdom in the late 13th century. This Hindu-Buddhist empire, based in East Java, was no less impressive than its predecessor. Under the reign of the legendary King Hyam Wuruk and his trusty prime minister, Gajah Mada, the Majapahit Empire reached its zenith, controlling territories from Sumatra to the eastern parts of Indonesia. It was during this time that the famous Nagara Kratagama, an epic Javanese poem, was written, providing us with a glimpse into the vibrant world of the Majapahit court. The Majapahit Empire's influence echoes through time, with its legacy still celebrated in Indonesia today. But, alas, nothing lasts forever. The 15th century saw the decline of the Majapahit Empire and the rise of Islamic sultanates in the region. The most notable among them was the Malacca Sultanate, which established itself as a new center for trade and Islamic scholarship. The conversion to Islam was an important turning point for Indonesia, shaping the country's cultural and political landscape for centuries to come. Now, let's set sail for the 16th century, where we meet our old friends, the Europeans. First came the Portuguese, who were enticed by the promise of exotic spices like nutmeg, cloves, and pepper. They established a foothold in the Maluku Islands, but their dominance was short-lived as the Dutch East India Company soon muscled its way into the region. The Dutch, with their nifty ships and ruthless business practices, managed to secure a monopoly on the coveted spice trade, eventually colonizing the entire archipelago. And thus began the era of Dutch colonial rule, which lasted from the 17th to the 20th century. Under the Dutch, the people of Indonesia experienced exploitation, forced labor, and a loss of political sovereignty. The Dutch introduced a system called the cultivation system, which required Indonesian farmers to set aside a portion of their land for cash crops destined for Europe. The system generated huge profits for the Dutch, while the Indonesian farmers were left struggling to make ends meet. It seems that history has a knack for repeating itself, doesn't it? Despite the hardships, the spirit of the Indonesian people remained unbroken. The 20th century saw the rise of a national awakening, as intellectuals and political activists began to push for independence. One such figure was Sukarno, a charismatic and eloquent leader who would later become Indonesia's first president. As World War II raged on and the Japanese occupied the islands, Sukarno and his compatriots continued their struggle for self-determination. Finally, on August 17, 1945, with the Japanese defeat imminent, Sukarno and fellow nationalist Muhammad Hatta declared Indonesia's independence. This bold move was met with resistance from the Dutch, who attempted to regain control of their former colony. However, after 4 years of diplomatic wrangling and armed conflict, the Dutch finally recognized Indonesia's sovereignty in 1949. And so, the Republic of Indonesia was born. The road to nationhood was far from smooth, though. Sukarno's turbulent presidency was marked by political instability, economic challenges, and a tense relationship with Western powers. In 1965, a failed coup attempt led to a violent and chaotic period in which an estimated 500,000 people were killed. General Suharto, a key military figure, eventually emerged as the new leader, ushering in the era of the New Order. Suharto's rule was characterized by economic growth, fueled by the exploitation of Indonesia's abundant natural resources. However, his regime was also marked by widespread corruption, human rights abuses, and a lack of political freedom. After more than 3 decades in power, mounting unrest and the 1997 Asian financial crisis ultimately led to Suharto's resignation in 1998. Since then, Indonesia has been on a long and winding journey towards democracy and reform. The country has witnessed the rise of political pluralism, a vibrant civil society, and a growing economy. But it has also grappled with the legacy of its past, from corruption scandals to lingering ethnic and religious tensions. And that, dear friends, brings us to the end of our whirlwind tour through Indonesia's fascinating history. From prehistoric ancestors to the rise and fall of empires, colonization, and the struggle for independence, Indonesia's story is a testament to the resilience and determination of its people. As we continue to watch this dynamic nation evolve and grow on the world stage, we can only imagine what exciting twists and turns lie ahead for Indonesia in the chapters yet to be written. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more historical adventures. And as always, stay curious, my fellow time travelers. Until next time.